Where's our friend Mark?
Where
Mark,
is he?
having technical difficulties. Guys, we are live. So right now, we are missing Mark. He is our resident highlight, but just in case, we are going to carry on without him in hopes that he can somehow tune in. It's a little bit difficult sometimes with our instructions, but guys, we are the neighborhood specialists here at Easton Park you get me, you get my gist, but we live here, we here, we work here, we sell and all that stuff. We help lovely individuals that want to move into Easton Park, and likewise, alternatively, we help them sell their properties here in Easton Park. Aside from that, in our live streams that we host every month on the second Thursday, what we do here is we provide you guys information on upcoming events, news, market stats, and we also highlight our residents in the community so you guys can get to know us and also the people that live here. Other than that, normally we introduce our resident highlight, but let's go ahead and we're going to wing it. This is what happens at live streams, guys. You're just going to wing it. It is unscripted. So, hold on.
Texted and let's see. Hold on,
guys. You guys are seeing this live. Miss Araceli says, hold on.
Okay.
All good?
I see the dots, so he's like responding.
Okay. No worries. But you know what? Here's what we're gonna do. So what I'll do is let's go ahead and introduce ourselves, and then hopefully it'll give Mark some time to tune in. And if not, I do have already prepared his site just in case. If he can't get on for whatever reason, we can talk a little bit about his business. Who wants to go first and introduce themselves? I can do it first.
Okay, go, Liza.
Hey, no. So I am Liza Brazel. I've lived here in the neighborhood since 2016, originally in Bryant Park. So you OGs know, Bryant Park. Bryant Park is the first OG phase that opened up. And then I moved over to Union Park, and I'm actually 2 doors down from Araceli and super, super far away from Gabby. Gabby lives in Kiki. So anyways, Gabby's like the outcast. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes.
I'm joking.
I personally have a hand in trying to create the Kiki culture. Not that it's not already rolling, but we're off to a slow start.
We're a fun group of folks, so that's really what matters. That we have fun and we love where we live at. But anyways, that's really me. I'm a native Austinite, born and raised here in Austin. I do have a 12-year-old son, so I have an official tween in my hands, and I'm trying to connect with more parents so I can have him connect with other tweens in the neighborhood.
Wait, he just had a birthday, right?
He had a birthday in May, so he's 12 now. So I guess he's a tween, like not yet a teenager.
Is he like cracking?
Is he like tween sassy?
Yes, for sure. All of that happening, all the changes. We're going through that right now, but. That's me right there. So enough about me. I don't know who wants to go next and introduce themselves.
I'll go. I'm Gabby Leite. I am the opposite of Liza, where I am fairly new to Austin, and I've only been in Easton Park for about we're going on 2.5 years now. And I came to Austin back in 2017. And surprise, surprise, I loved the people here. I noticed there was such a stark difference in culture from what I was used to back in the Dallas area. And I grew up in the Dallas area from like 7.
I didn't know that.
Well, yeah. So my family is from Brazil, and I lived there until I was about 7. And then we moved to the DFW area. I went to school there and college and all of the fun things. And then I came to Austin, and it was just supposed to be kind of a short trip, and I just fell in love with it. There's something so magical about being around all these people from all over the place that are all kind of weird in their own way, and in a city that like encourages you to embrace your weird. I found it so liberating. So I'm one of those people that migrated to Austin. I'm sure I see it kind of from an outsider's perspective to an extent, but I like to think of that as a strength in its own way. And with that, like Easton Park, it's another area where there's not anywhere like it. There really isn't. And I love a lot of the new build communities, but Easton Park has a really special part of my heart. And one of the things that Liza and Araceli and I always talk about is how amazing this community is and how incredible the people here are. And at the same time, how respectful everybody tries to be of each other and how they're like, I don't want to step on any toes. I don't want to like be pushy. But whenever we host any kind of, whether it was like our karaoke nights or the potluck picnic, people show up and they're just incredible. There's just something so nourishing about it. So that's why I love it here. I just like to help people make the best decision for them. And I like to be a resource. So
Yes.
that is the aim with these live streams, right?
Yes, absolutely. Always the aim. So I love what you had said. I have one quick request, Gabby.
Yes.
How do you say welcome to our live stream in Portuguese?
Bem-vindos ao nosso live stream.
Oh, fancy. That's all I wanted. By the way, guys, we do have Mark. Mark is in the queue.
Mark is in the house.
Mark, if you hear me, Mark, give me a minuto. Okay. No, I speak good Spanish, by the way. Wait, give me a minute. I'm gonna let Araceli introduce herself and let her have her little spotlight too, and then I'll bring you up on here. Okay, sound good? All right, awesome. He gave me a thumbs up. So Araceli, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Araceli Frazier. But yeah, I've been in Easton Park for years. About I think it was 2017. I love the neighborhood. I like to party. I like to sell real estate. So
I think a lot of people know you like to
yeah, so just happy to be on and be a resource. And I feel very strongly about Easton Park, and I could give my spiel, but we all live here, so we know what it's like. Anyhow, so Araceli Frazier.
Girl. All right. Short and sweet. So let's bring Mark on board. 1 second. Drum roll.
Let's go, Mark.
Sounds. Can y'all do the drum roll real quick?
Oh, I got my little drum thing.
Hold on, Mark. It's the
Yay!
Yay! Mark, welcome to our live stream. I got nervous, man. I was like, Mark, hey, I told Gabby not to tell you, we're gonna have to wing it, man. And I even have your, hold on a second, let me show you. I have your little site. I was like, man, if he doesn't show up, this site is gonna be the face of Mark. We still want to highlight your business, but Mark, thank you for being on our live stream. I'm gonna let Araceli introduce you, and then you can talk more about yourself. So,
all right.
All right. Well, this is Mark Riojas with oh shoot, what just happened to my screen?
I can see you, girl. I can still see you.
Okay.
This is what happens to live stream.
Anyhow, yes, Mark, he provides a service for all the neighbors. I know he's going to touch more on it, but mostly just specifically it was thought of for Easton Park, more bounce to your house. So go ahead, Mark.
All right. Well, can everybody hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you pretty good.
Right.
Yes.
Great. All right. So first off, I'm really sorry about being late.
No.
My calendar invite didn't pop up like I thought it would, and I'm also in real estate. I work for Redfin.
Wow.
So
great. Cool.
I just got done showing a home at 10, and then I was down here getting some breakfast, and I just didn't get the
Mark,
notification.
don't even feel bad. We've all felt the tech struggle. We've all had the crazy busyness. So
hey, did you feel, Mark, did you have that feeling like, man, this morning's going really good? I feel like I'm missing something though. No.
I did. I was like, man, I got so much time on my hands right now. It's like, all right. And well, either way, I'm glad I was able to hop on really quick. So I'm in my vehicle right now, and I'm downtown right now on 2nd Street. But that's all right. Either way, thank you for having me here. And Araceli, I really appreciate you reaching out to me to begin with. Being able to highlight my business is, I really appreciate that from all of you bringing this together and making it happen. So more bounce to the house. That is the business. And yes. I've been doing it now for, I started the LLC back in October, but it took a while to get everything going. And I didn't know what I was doing. I had no idea. I just said, you know what, I'm going to make it happen. And so the way this all came about is really cool. So we moved in May 31st last year. So we've been in here in Easton Park.
Okay.
Welcome. In Key Park. Yeah. So thank you. So we were here, and the day that we moved in, I got my neighbor app set up and everything, and then I got this notification there's going to be a town hall meeting. So we were like, all right, let's go see what's happening in the neighborhood. Like, I want to know, I want to be involved, I want to see what's happening. So when we went, that was May 31st last year. And when we went, they were giving us a little bit of update on the development of the neighborhood. And at that time, a year ago, they said that they had estimated that there were about 1,600 homes lived in or already under contract. And they said when it's all said and done, that Easton Park would be 16,000 homes.
Yes.
So I was like, a light bulb went off in my head. I said, okay, well, Easton Park's already a pretty big size. And that, and if it's 1,600 and it's going to be 16,000, that means we're only at 10%
Yes.
of what the neighborhood's going to be. Light bulb went off, and I said, okay, well, there's something I feel like I can do here. I got it, so that if I start it now, when the neighborhood is done, I'll be like the go-to name.
Yeah.
And I just started thinking, I was like, what do we have a lot of? What do we have a lot of? And as the month went on, I said, you know what? There's a lot of people there's a lot of little kids here, like a lot of little kids. You don't see a lot of teenagers. You see a lot of little babies and toddlers. So I thought, okay, what could I bring to the neighborhood that would be something exciting and fun, and I would like contribute to the neighborhood while also making my business and making some money here. And so I just thought about it. I was like, man, there's tons of little kids and people really like to party around here. People are like very outgoing and very friendly. It's very community oriented here. Yeah. So I just thought about it. I said, a bounce house business. And then it just stuck in my brain. And then in October, this has been since like June that I started the idea. And then in October, I said, you know what, I'm just going to do it. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll just learn as I go. And,
I love that.
Right. If there's one thing that I know is that there's only one way to get something done, and it's just to do it. Just to do it.
Yes.
Yeah,
the vision comes first and the how-to comes later. So yes, man.
Yeah. I'll find out. I'm smart enough. I'll find out the way how to do it. And my drive was strong enough. I'm like, I can figure it out. I'll take one step at a time. So I started the LLC through LegalZoom. And then I started looking at like other things that I was going to need, like if I was going to need any kind of permits, sales permits or anything like that.
Did the name come to you like early on, or was that a work in progress?
No, it hit me like a lightning bolt. So I was telling my wife, I was like, I really think that I want to start this business, and it's gonna be a bounce house rental. She was like, what would you call it? And just like right out of my mouth, more bounce to the house. And she was like, oh my God, that's it. So I'm in my 40s. I'm 43, and I grew up with like the hip hop era. So in the hip hop community, it's like everybody knows I got more bounce to the ounce. So I was like, oh, more bounce to the ounce. I was like, that's it. And it hit me. I was like, yeah, I love it. And it's funny because a lot of people that like know that hip hop reference are like, I know I see what you did there. I see what you did. I'm like, okay, you're my client. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, you're my ideal client.
Yeah. So I did it. I got everything started, and then in November I ordered all of my bounce houses. They took like 2.5 months to get here, so I got them by like the end of January. And in order to get insurance, I have to have them all inspected. So then I got them all inspected like mid-February, and then I started doing raffles on the Neighbor app. One of the people that won one of the raffles gifted it to the assistant principal at Newton Collins.
Oh,
and
wow.
So she was my very first rental, and it was a free one because she won it. But that was my first rental, March 1st, and then after that, I just started getting clients and I started getting bookings, and everything that I made in March, I doubled that in April, and everything I made in April, I doubled it in May, and everything I made in May, I smashed in June, and July starting off. So it's been really good because I've started to partner up with a lot of schools. So Newton Collins, of course, rented from me, and then I donated 2 bounce houses for their field days. So they rented 2, and then I donated 2. So I had 2 each day, and then I've linked up with a Montessori school off of South First and Manchaca. I have partnered up with Wayside Elementary, the charter school here off of I-35 and William Cannon.
Nice.
So making these connections.
Hey.
I'm now.
So I may contact you. I organized the Fall Fest at Valor. Have you heard of Valor? That school?
No.
Okay, it's off of Congress and Foremost.
Okay.
35. I don't know if when you pass the Golden Corral, there's a school there.
Oh yeah. Okay. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So I organized the fall festival. It's huge. It's for the entire school. So we're always looking for that. And I need to start early because last year was the first time I'm, cheering the whole thing. And I was all over the place. And now I have a better idea of organizing a big event. It was my first time too.
Right. Yeah. You know what? You just gotta grab the bull by the horns and just like make it happen one way or another. And if you're like me, like I just can't fail. So a little more background. So I was in the tech industry and I got laid off, and so the bounce house business was just supposed to be just like supplemental money.
Yeah.
And then I got laid off.
Mm-hmm.
And then Redfin also, that's kind of just like side money that I make.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got laid off back in February, and then I just told myself, I can update my resume and go back into the tech field. This is the second time I've been laid off in 3 years due just to like pandemic and everything.
Right.
And instead of like sprucing up my resume, I said, you know what? I'm going to just go all in with the bounce house business, and I'm just not going to let myself, lose. And so I've just been promoting on social media, and everywhere I go, I'm handing out a business card to somebody that I think could use it.
Right.
Pinning up flyers on like bulletin boards anywhere that I see I can, and just letting people know. And a lot of times, people are just so nice. They're just like, oh yeah, I know somebody. If they don't need it, they know somebody that does. And just word of mouth is the best kind of advertisement in business that I can get. And a lot of times.
Do you have children? Do you and your wife have children?
I do. Yeah, I've got 22-year-old, I've got a 14-year-old, and I've got a 7-year-old, all females. I don't know how my hairline isn't back here, but it's not yet. And so I'm definitely a daddy's like a girl father for sure.
Girl dad.
Yeah, I'm a sucker. They
wait.
Let
me see your nails. Let me see your nails. Do they paint
nails?
Your nails? Yes. No. They. I've seen some girl dads where their nails are painted pink.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I have a boy, but I'm like, I was like, my nails look ugly right now, guys. Look, cuticles and everything. I don't do my nails. I'm like low maintenance, but I think it's funny when I see dads with painted nails. I was like, that they have girls.
Yeah. that could totally happen at any moment in time. I've had my nails painted so many times. So yeah.
We never painted my dad's nails. He just got gray hair from us. That's it. That's the only thing that changed color.
Me too. I have gray hairs, but it's gray. No.
Yeah.
Shout out to the parents out there.
I know, right?
It's work.
Shout out to the camas. No.
I wanted to go back to the bounce house, because when we talked a couple days ago, you talked about what for your clients in Easton Park, that you actually give back money to Newton Collins.
Yes.
To talk about that.
I was going to bring that up, and then I forgot. I got sidetracked. So yes. When I started the business, I also wanted to, the whole idea was like, I wanted to make something for Easton Park, and I wanted it to be more like I'm an Easton Park resident small business, and it's for Easton Park, right? I really wanted to only market towards Easton Park and keep it within the neighborhood. It started off a little slow, so I did have to start marketing outside of Easton Park, and now I cover anywhere and everywhere pretty much. But the other aspect of wanting to keep it within the neighborhood was that, like, I also wanted to give back somehow. And so I decided, I thought it would be a good way that for people to support me, it would be supporting their own children. So every rental that I get, I donate 20% to Newton Collins.
Wow.
So
Okay.
yeah, so I that was the idea that I started with. And my first 6 months was a lot of kind of like covering expenses that I had incurred, buying things that I didn't know that I needed to buy. As I was getting more rentals, I was like, oh, I need this. I need more extension cords. I need more stakes to hold the bounce houses in the ground. I need more blowers. Insurance is like really expensive to have, but I have to have it. And all these expenses I wasn't really ready for. So like the first 6 months was kind of just like covering expenses and paying back like a lot of the debt that I incurred just getting the business started. Now I'm at a 6 month point where now I can actually start doing that. So I've been able to get off the ground and have money in the bank now. So now what I'm having to do is what I'll be doing is retroactively going back to like March and April, paying back everything I made then, that 20% to the school, and then as time goes on, eventually I want to catch up to be current. But now that I'm at a 6-month mark, I feel like, okay, now I can start paying back that 20% from every sale that I've ever made. So now that school's going to be starting in a month, I'll be able to go to school, because my daughter goes to Newton Collins.
Yeah.
So I'll be able to go and start making those donations within this the first semester, and get caught up by the end of the year, because I want to make sure that I pay that donation. It'll be a tax write-off, so I also want to make sure that I pay this year's donations all by the end of the first semester. Are
you going to do like a big check? You should do that and take a picture. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I think that would be cool.
I think it'd be cool, and I think it'd be like, just to get that word out that like this is also what I'm doing for the school. So if you're renting from me and your kid goes to that school, just know that you're supporting Newton Collins as well.
Yes.
Is she going to second or third grade this year?
She's going to be in second grade. She was in Miss Shep's class last year, and she'll be going into second. And we love Newton Collins, and the security is like super high security. We can't get in there ever.
No, yeah.
But now they've made it to where, I think this year they're going to do like one Friday a month now where you can go and have lunch or something like that. They were telling me
that's new.
Like on one of the last Fridays that we were able to go and have lunch, or Thursdays or whatever day it was, that they're thinking about doing that like one time a month, so that it's not just like an end of the year thing. And I know my daughter enjoys us when we go there and, have like a lunch with her. So we enjoy it too. But yeah, so that's what I do for Newton Collins. I was also thinking about maybe not everybody has kids. So the people that don't have kids, maybe donating to like like some kind of pet, something to do with pets. I'm not sure
like
how I
Austin
want to do
Pets
that.
Alive or one of the
Austin Pets Alive. That's like the main one, the biggest one, I guess. So I was thinking about doing some kind of donation for there too. Like, of course, I get it. Not everybody has kids, but it seems like everybody has pets.
Yeah.
So if anything, I can at least
kids or pets
support.
Everybody
them,
likes the idea of contributing to something better, right?
Yeah. Gabby, you're the only one here that has pets, right?
I don't have a pet.
Yeah, because I don't.
Oh, that's true. Yes.
I don't
His name is Small Dog. Tiny, do you want to come up here? Come on.
So yeah, that's actually smart.
Right?
Pets for kids.
I'm thinking, like I gotta be able to cover like everybody's interest here in the neighborhood. And if they don't have kids and they don't care if I donate to Newton Collins, then let me find something that they would care that I would donate to, and just kind of be able to cover everybody. And in that sense, hopefully that would bring me more support and more business. So I kind of look at it like I really want to be able to give back to Easton Park, because I live in Easton Park. Like I'm so happy that I moved there a couple years ago. When we were considering it, we're like, no, that's too far south. That's way too far east. And we've always lived like near downtown. Because we used to work downtown, and then quarantine happened, and we were like, oh, well, I don't know how long this is going to happen. Like, I don't know how long this is going to be. Like, we've never been through anything like this. So we're like, maybe now it's time that we move out of downtown, because we couldn't enjoy living this close to downtown. Everything was shut down. And even when we started to open back up, it kind of just wasn't the same anymore.
No. It's never been like totally the same as it used to be.
No, it's like downtown had like a cloud over it after quarantine, and we're just like, it's not the same. Plus, we spent so many years enjoying downtown, going out, getting drinks, dinner, live events, going dancing, everything. My wife and I, we love to go out and have a good time and enjoy like the city, like nightlife. But during that time, we were like, I guess maybe this would be the good time to make that move, and let's just try Easton Park. And then we got there, and we're like, it's not even that far from downtown if you take 183. So it's like the best choice that we ever made. So
yeah, for sure.
The best choice we ever made. I wanted to also tell you that I was at the food trucks the other day, and the pancake, the little pancake maker.
Yes.
He wants to talk to you if you have not talked to him. He wants to pair up and kind of maybe host events together. So he did give me his card, but he's there on the weekends. But I wanted to tell you that.
Is that Sweet Bites? Is that what it's called?
No,
Or is that a
it's
different
called,
place?
oh, I don't know what it's called. Oh, here it is. Sweet Bites. Yep.
Sweet Bites. Okay, yeah, I'm definitely gonna go and speak to them this weekend then.
Yeah, no, he was like, because I was telling him about the live stream. I was thinking about having them on at some point too. Because it's just, I was talking to Nancy and Harrison, and they were on our live stream a couple months ago. But it really created this culture over there.
Mhm.
You know, people walk there to get their coffee, and now with the Sweet Bites, you can get a little bite. They're serving the breakfast tacos more. So I was giving Harrison kudos. I was like, you guys really created something grand, and it looks like that's what you're doing as well too. So that's I love your go-getter attitude. Like,
Yes, I love it too. I was like, oh my God, that alone, you sharing your story. Look, this is the first time I meet you, online, but I already feel like even more I want to help you and help your business. Like I'm like, oh my gosh, your story touched me. I was like, I want to help you. I'm going to tell people about it. I'm going to tell my family about it.
Please, thank
My
you. Thank you
sister
so
that
much.
has, I always say my sister that has all the kids, I was like, I'm going to tell her about it because she's always doing several birthday parties. So it's important. And this is, man, you're a hustler. I love that about you. That's awesome. So
I have to be. You know, when
yes,
you have kids, and it drives me even that much more. Like, I asked my daughter the other day. I was like, we're having a conversation like, oh, what do you want to do when you grow up? Like, what are your interests? What would you want to be? And my little daughter told me, my 7-year-old, her name is Olivia. She said, well, I want to be a business owner like you. And I was just like, man, that's awesome. Like, she's seeing what I'm doing. And like she's watching, she's paying attention. She's like, yeah, I want to own a business too. And I'm just like, man, if I don't show my children these things and give them that idea in their mind, like they can do whatever they want.
mm-hmm.
They knew I didn't know anything about what I was doing, and that I was just doing it. And now they see me doing it, and like that gives them some kind of inspiration too to want to go out and
That's
do something on their
powerful.
own too. And I just thought that was awesome because I didn't think like she was really watching what I was doing like that, like
That's awesome.
really paying attention to what I was doing. So
yeah, you're little observers. And I mean, hindsight, that layoff was probably the best blessing because it
really
showed your
was.
capabilities of what you're actually capable of doing for your family. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So that's
yeah.
awesome.
I was very unsatisfied with the job that I was doing. I was managing a team of 8 people, and I would just kind of go through the motions. Like the money was coming in and the insurance was great, and I loved that, but I was very, very unhappy with what I was doing. So while I was doing that job, I was getting everything set up for the bounce house business, and so everything happened for a reason, and I'm glad that I was able to take advantage of the time that I had while I was still getting paid from the company so that I could get this up and going, and it all worked out the way that I wanted it to. So I'm staying very busy. It's a whole lot of work. I mean, it's very physically demanding, but I knew what I was getting myself into when I started it, and it's kind of like my workout now. Like, I don't really work out at all, but
you're working out your brain, no?
Physically too, though, from the sounds of it.
Well, like when I deliver them and I pick them up, it is
It
definitely
is.
a workout.
It's
like
a
the
workout. You're
pickup is
driving, you're sweating bullets, and the
especially
timing.
in this heat. So
Yeah.
I'll tell you, to give you like a reference. When I go to pick them up, and I gotta like roll them back up, and I load them back in my truck, and I take them home and unload them, everything. It's kind of like it's pretty similar to doing like a 30 to 45 minute CrossFit workout.
Oh,
Like that's
Yeah.
what it's like.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm having to roll them up, and I gotta pick them up, and I gotta put them on a dolly and roll. It's a whole lot of work.
Probably
But
like hundreds of pounds, right?
yeah, 200-300 pounds. They're like super heavy, and I've got 5 bounce houses and 6 water slides.
nice.
So,
You have a water slide too?
yeah,
That was going to
yeah,
be my next question.
yeah,
Sir,
lots of
you were
water
doing
slides.
the Lord's work.
Yeah, I'm doing it for sure. I'm definitely putting in work. So my wife says my appearance is like looking more healthy, and I'm getting like more in shape.
Okay. Losing the
take that.
lonjas.
She's like, yeah, I know, right? I always say lose my lonjas, but she's all like, what are you doing? You're, man, I didn't even work out. It's the jeans, man.
So it's just work. Yeah, I'm just working.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's
So I'm
great.
gonna pull up
paying off.
your site, Mark, and
Yeah.
so right now I have here a little banner, below our screens here. Is this the best way people can contact you at this email, or is there a better way for them to contact you?
Yeah, no, that's the easiest way. On the website, there's a little chat
Let me
box on
go
the
to
bottom
it.
right.
Hold on a second. Let me go to it. So bottom right, you said? Oh,
Yeah,
I see it
if
right
you
here.
go, that's a really
Okay.
easy way. So I have an app. I have a
Okay.
website app, and if you contact me, so that right there, that's a little automated chat that
Okay.
pops up anytime anybody goes to the website.
Got
And
it.
what happens is, if you ask any questions or if you have anything that you want to know about, you can chat me. It comes to me like a text, and then I can respond right away.
Well, let me see. Let me see. Hold on. Thank you for being on our live stream.
All right, let's see.
I'm so random. So cool. Okay, so it's automatic, and then it asks for your name and email. That's awesome. And then you have the capability, I guess, of texting back. Holy, look at that! Thanks for having me. That was fast. Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
All right.
So
All right. I was
it comes in like a
testing you.
text.
I was testing.
Yeah. It comes in like a text, and then also too, like I promote a lot on my social media, so it's More Bounce ATX.
I saw
on
that
Instagram.
that you have your Instagram here. Can I go to that? Is it clickable?
Yeah, if you click on it, it'll take you there.
Okay, can y'all hold on a second? I don't think it's sharing that screen. Let me see if I can share that on here. I'm gonna stop that share screen and present the other one.
Hey, Mark.
Yep.
Oliver's Oliver because he was a boy. He should have been Olivia. That is my favorite name in the whole wide world.
Yeah, I love the name. Yeah,
it's
I love
my
it.
favorite name in the whole world. So I'm gonna ask him if he knows Olivia because he knows that that's my favorite name. But he's Oliver because he was a boy.
That's right. I love that.
Here because his name is Small Dog, but originally we started at Smalliver.
Oh,
that's not a joke.
Cute, Smalliver.
My sister rejected it and said we were sticking with Small Dog, but I too love that name. 10 out of 10.
It's good.
That's super cute. So I have here, Mark, your screen went blank. Oh, there you are. Guys, if you want to contact Mark, either just chat with him to get to know more about him or get a bouncy house. This is the email here, contact@morebounceatx.com. Also, you can follow him on his Instagram as we have here, More Bounce ATX. You can follow him here and support him and his social media platform.
I'm gonna follow him now, now.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow you too, Mark. I'm gonna follow you on your Instagram. Get more followers and help each other. This is what community is about. Exactly.
And as we just saw, you can effectively text him through the website too.
Through the website. I know, that is hilarious.
I'm like the fastest responder in the world. Like everybody that knows me knows that.
I had to try. I'm like, let me see. No. No, I always do that. Oh my gosh, that is awesome. I love that Araceli brought you on here.
Perfect.
Yes.
And
I appreciate it so much.
By the way, we absolutely love your story, and I'm going to follow you too on Instagram. Support your business and let everybody know. I will contact you in the fall. We host our Fall Fest in November 5th, I believe, is when it's happening.
Perfect.
So yeah, man, be on the lookout for that.
Everything that you've done, and I just want to throw out there, it is awesome to see, and I love that the community overall is so appreciative of these opportunities brought by their own neighbors, where it's like you're getting to support your neighbor, you're also creating a really enriching experience, and to know how it's impacting your daughter, Mark, that just warms my heart. I am so proud of you. I just met you today, but I'm so proud of you, and I'm grateful you came on here and told your story. It's
awesome.
And you're definitely going to do some business.
I just followed you on there, so you got one more follow. Yo, what's happening? I got all these followers all of a sudden. Well, Mark,
I appreciate the opportunity to come here.
Yes, for sure. We are definitely excited to have you on here, and we appreciate you coming on to our live stream and introducing yourself, telling us about yourself and your story. It really touched me because I love hearing that from people, something genuine from them. Even more, we want to support that. So thank you again for being on our live stream. And Araceli, thank you for bringing him on board. Yeah, that's all. I can't say enough. Thank you for being on here. So it was fun.
Awesome, Mark. Keep up the good work.
Will do.
Awesome. Thank you, Mark. What I'm going to do, Mark, is I'm going to take you off the screen and you feel free to log off whenever. And other than that, we enjoyed having you on our live stream. And guys, don't forget to contact him. It's contact@morebounceatx. And his name is Mark. So again, guys, thank you. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
More bounce
Bye.
to the house.
More bounce to the house. So we are going to now move on to Gabby.
Okay.
Let me see, Gabby. I'm going to pull up our. Am I in the right screen, Gabby?
Yes.
Good? Okay.
So the Easton Park events that we have coming up, we've got the Movies in the East. They're playing Jaws. We do have our.
Is that at the pool?
I think it's just inside.
Oh, okay.
But they ask you to RSVP and then you get more details on it.
Gotcha.
And then our 55 and up Easton Park socialites, they're meeting from 7 to 9 on July 15th. July 21st, we have the Savory Farmers Market. July 28th, we've got the Easton Park monthly tabletop game night, which is super fun. If you haven't been out there, please.
What? So I've never been to the tabletop games. What is it like? What kind of games?
So fun. Yeah. So they have all different kinds of games. Usually there's there's a healthy stack there, and then you can bring some as well. If you
like board games, like chess, Monopoly, like that kind of stuff, or
I don't think I've seen them playing chess, but I've seen everything from like Ticket to Ride and Catan kind of things. We played Carcassonne. That's one of my favorites personally.
What is it? What is it called?
It's Carcassonne, and you build out little villages with your little meeple people.
Oh my goodness.
It's adorable.
I need to check it out. I mean, so do they provide beverages there, or you just bring BYOB?
A lot of times they do have. It's kind of potluck style. Like we took margaritas when we went, and there were already a bunch of snacks and drinks there.
Okay. Okay,
it's
girl.
fun. It's a good time.
I'm gonna cut you off. I'll let you keep going. I just was thinking about that.
No problem. And then I did want to put in the first few things happening in August, since we don't do ours until the second Thursday. Mm-hmm. August 3rd, we have the small Easton Park Poker Club. And so that's the one just for residents and owners here. The big game is the one where you can invite your friends. Mm-hmm. August 4th, we have another Easton Park 55 and up socialites and the First Friday food truck event. And then just after that, a few days later, there's going to be the Easton Park Professional Networking event. Okay. If anybody's interested in that, that is worth considering going to.
Awesome.
And then if you can go on to the next one.
Yes, absolutely.
I wanted to give a big shout out to the Austin Public Library, because they have had, and they are continuing to have, a ton of events. They have things from drums workshops, art workshops, like this says, comics workshops. They have all kinds of different reading things. They have every kind of science, art, even some math experiments. They have a chess thing. It is incredible how many programs they have, and the vast majority of them are completely free. So they have them and as you can see, you can actually put the audience if you want something that's just for adults, children, or teens. If you have like a newborn, or maybe not a fresh newborn, but like a little baby, they have story time for babies too. And so I wanted to encourage y'all to go and check that out. I know one of the things they're doing this month is like an Afrobeats drum workshop, which I thought was really, really cool. So they're bringing in a variety of different cultures. And it's just a great resource that I feel like a lot of us don't think to go to the Austin Public Library website when we're looking for fun things to do, but we 1,000% should.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I did want to just give people a heads up, because sometimes whenever they have these big events, it can get noisy. There is going to be a 2-day summer festival thing going on. So we can expect it to be a little bit loud over at Coda. And that's going to be, I'm trying to see, I believe July 24th, 22nd, 23rd, and 24th.
Okay.
And that might go until 2 a.m. So I wanted to just throw it out there. If you've got something sensitive to sounds, kind of expect that and maybe plan around it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to go to a festival, there's going to be the summer festival, and then there's the sad Summer Festival, which is like emo bands, like Taking Back.
Wow.
Kind of stuff. It's not, yeah. So lots of fun stuff going on around here. The sky's the limit, really. And I just think these events they're holding are so cool. They have like music synthesizer events. They have like art and drawing and portraits and everything you can think of. And I had not realized how extensive that activity list is until I started doing a deep dive. And I was like, there's like 5 different things every single day. What have I been doing on my boring nights? Like,
so yeah, rereading your book. It's okay. Everybody's on their own plane, right? Of what they enjoy. So, but if people are bored and they really want something to do, they can go here or look at the list of events. Easton Park has a lot of events to offer. So that's what's great about living here in Southeast Austin. But I forgot to mention, guys, no, I didn't see it on here. So the Texas Senate has passed a property tax bill for that $100,000 homestead exemption. We have to vote on it, I believe, in November 7th, but it'll take our current homestead exemption from $40,000 to $100,000, which is going to be a huge relief, not only for homeowners, but non-homeowners alike.
For renters,
properties. Yeah, if they're investment properties, yes. So that's huge, huge, huge. It's like the biggest in Texas history. So I'm like crossing my fingers for those people that have been severely affected by the hikes in taxes. I'm really hoping that'll provide a lot of relief for folks here, especially here since we have a high tax rate. But that's all I wanted to share real quick because I completely forgot to mention that. It just kind of popped up here in one of my messages and then I looked it up real quick. So we'll post that again, guys, on the forum so you guys can take a look at the link and follow that. That's definitely some exciting news. Gabby, I didn't know if you wanted to share anything else okay. And then Araceli, did you have anything else that you wanted to share?
No, I did, we didn't talk, I'm sure we mentioned it last month and I know it's already over, but I just kudos to our Easton Park 4th of July parade. Like it's just so many neighbors come together and it really is a whole ass event, pardon my language, but that's what we do. Like it's, yeah. So kudos to it. I think Jordan puts it on. There's a few neighbors over there at Nob Hill that started that about 3 years ago. So next year, check it out.
Yes, absolutely. I feel bummed that I missed it. I was at a cruise for a wedding to the Bahamas, but so I wasn't able to go. Did anybody take pictures or did any of you guys go to the event?
So I was actually in LaGrange, but I just know that it was great. And if I would have been home, I really would have enjoyed it.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that. All right. So are you guys okay to move on to stats?
Yeah, let's go into those stats.
Okay. Let me go ahead and put next here. So a little bit something different. I am going to put here at the bottom where it says Easton Park. I put June, July. Since we do our live streams on the second Thursday, I'm like, you know what? Let me include a little bit of July in there just to keep current with everything that's going on. This is just for resale properties. And as you see here, market from the last month that we did this, we've noticed that the days on market have improved, but the prices are a little bit lower, right? For resale. But it's what I think is happening is they're trying to be a lot more competitive than the new construction out there, because as you'll see here in a minute, they are at a higher price point. But if you see here at the bottom, we have on closed transactions between 375,000 and 775,000, with the average days on market at 26. And there's 10 of them that have closed between all of the month of June and then up through July now.
Can I interrupt with a little shout out here? I think you're absolutely right that people are just trying to be more competitive and bring people in. And to that point, Araceli, big shout out to you, because you got your listing under contract in like no time flat by doing like a pretty competitive.
We priced aggressively, and that's really what it is. It depends. I always ask my client, what's more important? If you have a definite date, this is the way that we're gonna go. If you're okay with sitting on the house for a little bit, then
yeah.
Thank you.
Work around their goals.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's folks that listen. Everybody has a different goal in mind. Absolutely. Either you want to go you want to net as much as everybody wants to net as much as they possibly can, but everybody has a different circumstance that they're going through. And they either need to sell right away, which means it needs to be priced accordingly, or they're okay sitting on the market for a little bit just to see what they can get, and they want to test it. Everybody has a different journey that they're going through. Yeah. But as you see here, this is what we have here. This is the stats here of what's happening for the resale market. And it's actually not bad. We're seeing things neutralize. We're seeing them come back to norms, but it's still very, very optimistic. Like as far as the actives go, we're seeing 375 to 599K. And then the pending right about a little bit higher on the pending side. So on the active, they're a little bit less, but it also depends on the inventory. Here's what we have on the closed transactions. If you look to the right of the map, they're all over the place. It's not just last time. It was, I think, concentrated in Skyline. Yeah, Skyline. So, and then here they're all over. We not really Bryant Park, but they're Nob Hill, Union East, Skyline, and some in Kiki as well. So I don't know if you guys have any questions for the resale sector, but if y'all want, I can move over to the new construction.
Nope. Yeah, go ahead.
I think that's a good
call. All right, cool. Let me move on there. Here is a new construction. As you're going to see, most of it's going to be Skyline, some in Kiki. So if you see
Discovery Park
and Discovery Park, a lot of it's going to be in Discovery Park. But price, look at the price points, 366,000 to 894,000. And they're averaging their days, 126 days on the market. There's 63 homes that the resale is competing against, which is why you see a relatively lower price range on the resale and why the resale is selling a lot faster. Also, in my opinion, the resale does offer a bit more variety, right? We have like the older sections of Easton Park, which is of a different home structures, right? Like their aesthetics is definitely a lot different. The facades are a lot different than your compared parts in Skyline or Kiki. The aesthetic is completely different in that section of Easton Park. So it definitely gives folks a bit more variety. If they want to, in the older sections, they like more of that craftsman style, they can definitely go there. If they want a little bit more of a modern style, then you go to Skyline, Kiki, or Discovery Park for that.
And to your point, a lot of the resales also have something done to the exterior, some kind of landscaping, some way that the people made it their own. And a lot of the buyers do really appreciate that and, get excited for whether it's flower bed landscaping or a whole pool or pergola. People get excited for those things, and it's nice to not have to worry about
I went on a listing appointment yesterday or the day before. A home in Bryant Park that's on 0.21 of an acre, beautiful pool, a pergola, fire pit, and I was like, "Holy cow!" And it was in Bryant Park. You know, think of what the people in Bryant Park and Nob Hill have done to their homes. So that was a really great point, because literally, I walked in and I was like, "Holy." Wow. Like,
especially in Bryant Park, because that's the area where people who bought in there early, they built up enough equity to be able to take out from their home equity, upgrade their whole backyard, and still have stuff left over. Like,
did a lot of that during COVID too. I was like, when did you guys do this? So like, we started in COVID, and that's the time where people were really spending a lot of time in their home doing the things that would make them comfortable. So that's a really good point. Those older neighborhoods, maybe, they don't sell as quickly if they're not priced correctly, but there's some gems over there for sure.
Absolutely. I agree with that. They each have their own characteristics and charm to each section of Easton Park. So I adore all of them. I love going around, checking it out. Nob Hill, I love going up to that park. And I don't know if you guys have bicycles, but I take my bicycle up there and swing down.
Up there to Make Out Point?
What? Is that
what?
No, I'm just kidding. There's no teenagers. Well, there's not very many teenagers.
Oh my God, that's so funny. I was like, wait a minute.
But whenever you're like, go up to the top of the hill, that's what popped in my mind. Like,
oh my gosh, that's so funny. I was like, man, I'm like totally living under a rock. Is that what it's called now?
Right? I was like, girl, when did that start?
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. But anyway, so we'll go
say really quick too, to the point of, for sellers and buyers too, the biggest the competing factor with the resale and the construction, obviously, you know, Liza was talking about that you'll see the difference in price, but the builders, if you're using their lender, they're literally throwing money at you.
Yeah.
They're saying, here's $15,000. Use it for your closing costs. Use it to buy down your rate, which is something that we should touch on if we have time. But buy down for your closing costs. You can bring it down on the price.
Mm-hmm.
So it really is important that you price correctly as a seller, because the buyers have a lot of options now. Like, let's just be real.
And they can only get those kinds of rates directly. I mean, they can only start in like mid fives if they go with the preferred lender who has the incentive going.
Correct.
If you go on the open market, you're looking at more like mid sixes. That's a pretty significant difference. And then if you combine that with, and on top of this promotional interest rate, then they can do cash to close. They're getting some pretty good deals. That's another reason why we just see a lot of people who love the resales, but end up tending towards the new builds because their payment can be so significantly different for something that's really similar.
Yeah, absolutely. So just to touch on it, just really quick on a 2-1 buy down, basically what it is and the dollar amount, it varies obviously on the home price, but let's just say 15,000. I feel like that's a pretty average number. But the first year, if the rate was going to be 6.8, the first year it's going to be 4.8. And then the second year it's going to be 5.8. And then once you get back to the original 6.8, the idea is that you can refinance into like a sub 5 or whatever the case may be. But it drastically affects your mortgage payment. And a lot of people, that's what matters. Like, what's my payment going to be every month?
Yeah. And the only thing I caution with the 2-1 buy downs is that you are assuming a risk that you'll have the ability to refinance. This is all pending that interest rates are going to drop. Now it's all projected, right, that next year interest rates will improve, but we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know for sure what's going to happen next year in the market, even this year in the market with interest rates. It's been brutal so far with the high interest rates. So if it's something you're willing to take the risk on, that in hopes that the interest rate's going to reduce and you're going to be able to refinance, also know that alternatively, they may not drop and you may have to incorporate that higher interest rate. So just keep that in mind. If you're able to do both, then I think that's a safe risk. Otherwise, if you really think it's going to strap you, like you're going to be house poor in the coming years, if for any reason the interest rates drop.
It is important to acknowledge that rate. You know,
for sure.
What's my financial situation going to be in 2 years? And nobody knows that, but feel comfortable with that original rate. And then the first 2 years it's on sale, so to speak.
So to that point, strategically, I know some buyers like to plan to have the 2-1 buy down, which in my experience, it's usually like it costs like 2 to 3% of the cost of the home. And then what a lot of my buyers have been planning on doing is, because your interest rate is so much lower, they plan to overpay towards their principal. So by the time the interest rate keeps going up, you know what I mean? Like even if they refinance and things aren't drastically better, they'll still be in a better place monthly payment wise. But it's like you're saying, we have to be able to carry the burden of it, right? To carry the weight of it, regardless of how the cookie crumbles.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's definitely a good point. Yeah, I've had a few clients take on that, and then several that were like, man, but we don't know what's going to happen. I'm like, you're right. We don't know. As long as the buyer knows what they're getting themselves into, then it's certainly a good risk if you're able to both ways. Other than that, they are offering great incentives at new builds. Like Newmark sometimes has every now and then they pop up with their $50K flex cash that you can use in combination of reducing the interest, reducing your closing to cost, reducing the price of the home that is already priced already low, because they have reduced their prices substantially from like the 800s to like the same house in the 500s. You know what I mean? 5.9. I'm like, what? This is crazy.
Yeah.
So, but you can see here in the stats, it's reflected. Like we have 41 pending homes that have been on the market for 113 days, and their price range between $349 and $965. So these are higher, right? They're higher price ranges. And then we have 17, again, not everything that I have here is something that they have reported. It's just whatever I see in my own MLS, but 17 of those new homes that they have reported have closed between 361 and 887,000. And those averaged 112 days on the market. So new construction is going to be on the market a lot longer because they do tend to price a little bit higher, but they do have the incentives that a lot of folks don't know about. So it's definitely something that if you're a new buyer and you want to take advantage of those incentives, then there you go. Or you can go the resale and you're getting at a lower price point for the most part of Easton Park.
You know, something else I learned recently about how their listing side works is that it's actually like a completely different division. And we found that out because some of my buyers got under contract, and we were under contract for like weeks, and the house is still showing as active. And so we were talking to the salesperson, and she would run it up the ladder to, to their listing side and be like, we don't know why it's not saying pending yet, but it stayed active until like a week before we closed. So I thought that was really interesting from the statistics that we look at, because that wasn't one that sat on the market for a super long time. It sat for a little bit, but not nearly as long as the MLS stats would dictate. And I thought that was interesting that the salespeople themselves, they only have so much control over what's reflected in the MLS.
Right.
Yeah.
So, which means that some of these numbers may be skewed.
Yeah. I think
that's the
what
case.
I would take from it is also like it might look like longer. And back to your point of, it's not going to be all of the properties. So a lot of the properties, if something falls out of contract and it's really nice, odds are they're going to get it back under contract before it actually gets posted on the MLS. And so those aren't going to be, the ones that sell really fast are not going to be reflected in these, right? So I think it's a lot of different things that makes it look like they just sit there forever. But I didn't know, personally, I did not know that the division between the sales and the listing side was so different that they had trouble keeping that, keeping things straight.
Right. Keeping a good flow of what's happening.
Yeah. Keeping it updated, because they have so many houses, they have so many properties to keep track of. I imagine it's tough.
Right. I would imagine also that their least priority is updating the system. They're like, man, well, let's get more buyers in.
Yes.
Sell these inventory homes. So are you guys okay if I go on to the rentals?
Yep.
Okay. So as you see in the map, all over the place, and you'll also see the wide range in the rental prices. Again, guys, just as a reminder, Easton Park has all kinds of homes, smaller homes to really, really big homes. So this is why we have such a huge range in lease prices. We're still seeing consistency with the days on market, about 32 days. So you're looking at roughly, if you're looking at leasing your home, it's about a month before it does get leased out. Or for those that are looking to lease here on the market, you're wanting to probably, once you see the house, you want to relatively make a decision quickly if you want to lease that place. And this is the price ranges that we're seeing between 2,400 to 3,800 that are active currently on the market. There's 13 of them. We have 8 pending between 21 and 3,500. And recently we've had 15 homes lease between the month of June and into July between 2,300 and 4,650. So hopefully that gives you a general idea of, if you're wanting to get your foot in the door in Easton Park, this is what you're looking at as far as price range. Or if you are wanting to lease out your home, then this is what you're looking at to potentially get, depending on the size of your home. So all of these vary depending on the specifics of what your house, how big your house is, where it's at. So yeah, hopefully that will help you guys out. But we're doing good on time. We're just under.
Can I add one more thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because one that I noticed, it never comes up in the MLS, but the ADUs or the casitas that usually rent for between 1,000, 1,200, those are usually rented out by the owners themselves. So we don't see those on here. But if you're considering Easton Park and you just want to get a feel for the community and you don't need a whole house, that's also an option. And it can be a shorter term option too. It's a lot easier to do those over the short term, whether it's for just a few months. So there are those options. That's just going to be something that, rather than, seeing it on necessarily online. You might want to go into some forums or ask around and say, hey, do you know any neighbors that are renting out their ADU, their additional dwelling unit?
Yeah, and,
just a thought to keep in mind.
That's a good point, Gabby, because I'm trying to the forum that we have on Facebook, I'm trying to get it to where owners can post on there, and maybe the community has a friend or a family member that is in need of those ADUs. But from what I'm seeing, they're averaging between 1,100 to 1,600 for the smaller ADUs. And a lot, what I'm also seeing a lot is a lot of people here in Easton Park are doing short-term rentals and mid-term rentals. And they're getting a lot more than the numbers that we see here, by the way. So this is all I can pull from MLS, like as realtors ourselves. This is all we can pull here, the data. But just so you guys know, if you're really exploring on really capitalizing on your property, if you have an ADU or you go out of town a lot and you want to do midterm or short term, there's bigger numbers than this that a lot of Easton Park homeowners are already capitalizing on. So if you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We have our information's all over the place. And I'll also link it here in the YouTube description on the bottom so you guys can contact us or connect with us on social media. But I don't know if you guys wanted to add any last minute thoughts or.
Nope.
I think we're doing pretty good.
It was great. So
awesome. Well, guys, I am going to end it. And again, thank you for joining our live stream. We stream every month on the second Thursday, and it's all about Easton Park. We talk about the market stats, upcoming events, news, and we also highlight residents. So if you want to be a resident here on our live stream as a resident highlight, please let us know. Reach out to us, any one of us. And we're more than happy to book you in one particular month if you're comfortable. Like if you want to book it for November, we can totally work something out. So let us know. But other than that, I think we are good to end it, guys. What do y'all think?
I think so.
Awesome. I'm going to end it. Bye.
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 Bye.